Hey everyone, Vonnie here, and I just thought I'd pop in for a little bit to say Happy Pride Month to all my fellow Rainbow Mafia members and their allies. I'm just so excited because everything is rainbow, and I love rainbow. But it's gotten problematic over the years because some will just stick it on for marketing purposes only instead of support. So there's pros, there's cons, and everything. Anyway, I just wanted... What? I'm in my room, as you can see. I'm recording this because the basement is really muggy. It's been hot and humid. And my daughter, my almost 18-year-old, is over there, and she's making faces at me. Anyway, I just wanted to share a few thoughts on being queer and being queer as a witch. Now, when I was little, queer meant weird. If you were a little queer, you were a little weird. And I was a whole lot of weird when I was little. I danced to the beat of my own drum. My mom tried to conform me into like this little box of good girl, good Christian girl, and by the time I was in high school, she gave up and was like, just as long as you're not on crack and burn the house down, I'm fine. But yeah, I was the kid who showed up to government class wearing a neon green feather boa. I was the kid in 8th grade who had a pair of they were stretchy capris with the scene on them that was printed all over it was the resurrection of Jesus. It was just all over. All you saw were clouds and angels and Jesus ascending into heaven. And so, I'm all over the place. So, for the label queer, I was a very strange kid. So I was called queer by a lot of people. That weird little girl, that queer little girl. But it didn't bother me because that's how I was. I was this weird little girl. My sexuality didn't come into play until I hit puberty when I was about 9. And my first crush was Xena Warrior Princess Lucy Lawless because she's gorgeous and sexy. And that's when I knew I was not straight, watching Xena Warrior Princess. Also, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Buffy was a big thing because it helped with my esteem issues. I was like, she's going through a lot of stuff. She's a warrior. I looked up to her because I was going through a lot of abuse at home at that age. And that also told me I'm not straight. So when Willow ended up being not straight, I was like, yes, yes. It's also the first show where they used the term Google. But yeah, my sexuality in my practice was one of the main reasons I came to paganism. The main reason was trying to get away from the church. I was looking everywhere. Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, everything. I was looking at a lot of isms. And I came to paganism through a lot of the mythology because, for example, Loki is gender fluid. Sometimes a man, sometimes a woman, sometimes a horse, I think, a dog. Can't remember. Sometimes not even human. Same thing with Zeus. Zeus was all over the place, putting his dick in everything. But it made me realize that it was part of our history. It's been suppressed for so long that people don't realize it's been around forever. That's why they made it a sin, because they wanted to control pleasures. Pleasures were of the devil. Pleasures, if you wanted, if you didn't show modesty or virtue, and that's the way they controlled that. And when I realized the control that I was going under, because I didn't have the terminology for it when I was a kid, but I'm pansexual and I'm polyamorous. So Justin and I, when we were married, I actually had a sister wife at one point. And it didn't bother me because we were consenting adults. We were consciously aware of what we were doing. And it flowed very naturally. I adored her, and he adored her as well, and we adored each other. Now we're divorced, and now we can't even stand each other. Most of the time I just want to hit him over the head with a waffle iron. And I'm quite sure he feels the same way about me, repeatedly. And I didn't have that terminology, and I'm so glad that the Alphabet Mafia, or Rainbow Mafia, is getting the words that we need to be able to better explain where we are and who we are and identify with. Because the one thing that I struggled with when I struggled with the label bi is that people think, oh, you're not gay enough. You can leave your homosexual partner for a heterosexual partner at any time. You're not really gay. And it's the same thing with, like, even my heritage. I lost a lot of my heritage because I grew up in the States. So they're like, oh, you're not Hispanic enough. But I'm Hispanic, so, oh, you're not white enough. So it's just, it's frustrating. Anyway, I've been rambling for far too long. And my daughter's making gross noises, cracking her knuckles, and closing pens, making a bunch of noise. Anyway, I hope you have a great day and brightest blessings.